On 16 July, mate reported in the morning that one of the crew, Rakowski, was missing. Could not account for it. Took labor watch 8 bills last night. Was relieved by Armanoff, but did not go to bunk. Men more downcast than ever. All said they expected something of the kind, but would not say more than there was something aboard. Mate getting very impatient with them. Fear some trouble ahead. Bram Stoker's Dracula, Chapter 7. Welcome all my lovely goblins and ghouls of the internet. I am Hanyo, your demonic cinephile. Finally saw it. I say finally saw it, but it just came out. But I'm very excited to see this film. The Last Voyage of the Demeter. Now, if you do not know what this film is about, which big spoilers because they basically say in the trailer, and it's just right at the very beginning of the movie. This film is a Dracula movie, but it is a adaptation of a very small section of the book. It is an adaptation of the Captain Log that is a part of chapter 7 of the original novel. Now, if you may not know that much about the old Dracula book, which I have no idea why you have not, is a classic. Everyone should read or at least listen to an amazing audio cover of Dracula. In the original novel, after the first 5 chapters of, is it 5 or 6? 5? I think I want to say 5. With Dracula harassing Harker at his castle. Yeah, the scene where Dracula has to travel from Romania to England by boat. But we never actually see what happens in the novel, because for those who don't know, the original Dracula novel is all told from the point of view of diary entries, journal notes, and the such. So we only get the captain's log, as in what the captain wrote down, which is a very limited point of view of the events that happened in the book. This part of the story is never really adapted. I never seen many people try to fully expand on this section of the novel. The only one I can think of that tried to do it and was almost cool with it was the Netflix BBC Dracula that came out in 2020. So Last Voyage of the Demeter does their own little take on it, and I love it. I love this film. This is definitely one of my favorite films I watched this year. I love vampire movies. Vampires are some of my favorite monsters of all time. And this was a very great vampire movie. This visual, bloody horror. But it's not just all blood. The movie takes its sweet time to get to the blood. As you build up to the horror, we get to know these characters. Our main character is Clemens, played by Corey Hawkins, a doctor who is trying to get his way back to England. We also got several other crew members, the captain's grandson, and such. And as we get to know the characters, we get little glimpses of Dracula in his boxes of earth, sleeping away, planning, plotting. It really does kind of feel like the old school novel to an extent, because Dracula is not very a character in this film. Again, if you've not read the original Dracula novel, spoilers, but Dracula, after the first 5 chapters, isn't really a character. He's more of a force of nature, this unknowable, this evil that doesn't really have a face that the characters have to fight against. He didn't really get a chance to really speak or talk or interact with the characters, except for the scene with Mina, about closely to the end of the novel. Yeah, we get quick glimpses of Dracula here and there. He's never fully in frame. He's always hidden in shadows. I really did like this approach because it really does have the same feeling as the novel, where it is this evil force that doesn't really have a presence. We don't really know what it's thinking. We don't really know its full motives. This is a Dracula story, and we already kind of know all about Dracula. I also want to give a really great shout out to the special effects, the practical makeup, because we do get several shots of Dracula in the film where it's clearly CG, and there's and the CG is fine, but when it's the makeup, when you get to see the actor in the getup, I love it. It is a very bestial Dracula. You never see him in human shape. He's like Nosferatu mixed with those bat monsters in Daybreak, or Michael, Michael, Marcus from the Underworld movies. In fact, in the novel, not novel, in the end credits, he's called Dracula, but also Nosferatu. And the word Nosferatu is never used in the movie, as far as I can remember. A lot of the movie was spoken in Old English, so it's kind of hard to understand at times. Nosferatu, particularly the 1979 version. 79? I think 79. Because in that version of the Dracula, we got a lot of emphasis on the play, a lot of connection between Dracula and death. Dracula being the embodiment of death, Dracula being the bringer of death, with elements like these rats scurrying about. You can see that where Dracula is killing people, you see the rats popping up here and there. We see maggots in his earth. And when the people get turned into vampires in this movie, and it's not full spoilers, is very dead. They don't look pretty. It's not flattering. It does very much act like an infection, which kind of fun little magical realism. Where like how much of this is science, how much is this magic? Because for some parts of the film, it's like it kind of seems like they're going with, oh, Dracula is just a creature in this film. He is just a animal. Till and in the movie where it's shown like, oh no, it's supernatural. We see him controlling fog. We see him speaking. Speaking of speaking, that is kind of like the one bad thing that Dracula is. Like I said, I like it, but I also kind of don't like it because it seems like it could have gotten a little bit more character interaction with Dracula. Maybe when he's killing people, we could see a little bit more of his personality besides just being a monster, a sadist. Sorry for the other characters. The other characters are pretty good. I really like Corey Hawkins as Clemens. The main character Clemens was, I think it was kind of interesting with his I didn't really get the thematics of his goal though, because it says that his kind of main goal in the as a character is to understand the world, to understand the beauty and horrors of it, to try to understand something. And I don't fully get how that connects with Dracula, because does he learn something about the world with the introduction of Dracula? Because it kind of shows that he is a hard science man, but we don't really get like a question of faith. Like this big scene where he has to start believing in the supernatural. They got Alicing Francosi. I'm sorry, but I'm not sure if I can pronounce that. As Anna, she is kind of our secondary character. You see her a little bit in the trailers. She is a stowaway. She is Dracula's victim, but she has a lot of badass moments. She spends most of the film kind of comatose, but when she gets up and ready to fight, I'm tired of being Dracula's lunchable. Yeah, it's just pretty cool. It's pretty badass. The other characters they're okay. Liam Cunningham as Captain Elliot was great. I thought he was he was pretty good in every scene he was in. And when he actually gets to the dramatic moments of the film, it's like, goddamn, it worked. It sells it. And the other characters are, they're fine. Mostly just food for Dracula to slowly pick off throughout the film. Oh, I really do also want to give a big shout out to the music by Bear McCready, which probably my I don't really pay attention to music like that in films, which is kind of funny because that's what they said in film school. That my film professor, he said at least the part that most people were looking during the element that people kind of look over the most during production is the music, and I was kind of like that too. So I'm a little bit picking up more on music, but I love this composer, Bear McCready. Now you don't know who Bear McCready is. He does lots of different projects, but probably the best ones that I first recognize his name is the two latest God of War games. He did the main theme for the Child's Play remake, which, say what you will about the Child's Play remake, the main theme of the film is a killer. It's perfect. Same thing here. He really nails the foreboding and the foreboding atmosphere of the film. It very accelerates the terror, but it's very subtle. It's not big and loud, kind of like in Child's Play or God of War, but when it starts to creep in, it's effective. I don't really have much to say about this. Basically, all I have to say about this movie. I loved it. This was probably not the best movie of the year. Definitely not, but definitely one of my favorites of the films I've seen so far this year. Only negatives I have to say that I wish this took a little bit closer to elements from the book. I wonder how it connects to the novel because there's no hint of a Jonathan Harker in this film. So I'm kind of wondering how the other elements of the book kind of transpire to this new like world that they're making. And I really wish I did not know this is the Dracula movie. Now, this was film was just named something else, like I don't know, The Last Voyage, just to say that. And I probably wasn't going to go see it, but I can only imagine just how amazing that reveal would have been that it's just called The Last Voyage, and all of a sudden there's a vampire showing about, and you start clicking your head together like, wait, what is this? What is it? And then the main character says, oh, it's Dracula. It'd been so cool. That'd been a cool, fun reveal. Pretty obvious to horror fans who know the novel and know the source material, but I don't know. I think it'd be kind of fun. It'd been a fun surprise for people who don't know the book, who don't really know all the individual pieces of Dracula lore, because the Demeter is skipped in lots of adaptations. So it's actually would have been a fun big surprise for most people. But hey, that's just me. But yeah, Last Voyage of the Demeter. What did you think about it? Did you hate it? Did you like it? Let me know in the comments down below. And do you want to see this film continue? Because they left it open for a sequel. And I'm very excited because I want my vampires to come back. I want vampires to rule the screen again. Alright, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day. Bye-bye.